So I think in the last video we took this all apart, so I didn't bother taking this guy apart, but this time. But if you want to see that, check the previous video. I think I did a tear down to this point on the, what I claim to be the worst iPod on eBay. I'm sure that's not true. Like, there's probably ones that don't work at all, and this one ran pretty good. I think the screen and the logic board and the frame are all good. And really, like, the back's fine. Like, that's what they often look like after a while. And the hard drive actually spins too, although, I'm not gonna trust that long term. The front's hooped, and the clicky wheel is all wore out. It's wore smooth and funky, and the button is not so hot. But so I got a new clicky wheel that's actually got some texture on it. I assume it's supposed to. A new button, a new front panel that's a lot less cracked and crazed, and a new back, and an iFlash. Gonna put a SD card in here, and then a bigger battery that supposedly will fit with this. I think it's gonna take like kind of this area here, but we'll see how that works out. This battery's shot. Oh, and I got this little plastic piece here that goes around the 30 pin. This one's kind of in tough shape and cracked, I think it's cracked. Maybe it's just really dirty. Anyway, I got a new one. And so, yeah, let me recombobulate where the camera is, and we'll get into taking it apart and putting it together. I haven't done this before, so we'll be figuring it out together, or maybe you'll be yelling at the screen telling me how I should have done it. Either way, it might be fun. Okay, I'll go ahead and apologize right now for the production value on these videos. This is not up to my usual level, which is not professional either, but this is less so, and I know the audio is not very good and stuff, but hey, if you want to play along, you can play along, and if you don't, there's probably other people who do better videos about iPods out there. So, okay, let me back up. I know I want to take the click wheel off. This one's all wore out and scratched up. I want to put a new one on it. It looks to me like this is glued down here, like a little grounding thing. I guess I shouldn't say glued. It's probably an adhesive tape, right? Like a double-sided tape under there. Or maybe it's just adhesive, but applied with like as a film. This here seems to be clear. There's just a foam pad under it, I imagine, for strain relief, because it flips around and comes under here. And there's actually a chip right on the flex, and then rounds the corner and back into this connector. This guy, I looked at this under a microscope to figure out how to work it, but this little flipper back here flips up from the back, and this spudger was way too big to operate. I had to use a tiny little tool to flip it up, but it's already flipped up. And then, so to get at that, because it comes around the corner here, I think we got to take the main board off, which appears to be connected to the frame with adhesive. I suppose around the edge, maybe on these pieces too. And then I think this cable will come free. Sorry, this cable back here, the hard drive cable, will come free with the main board. But because of the way, see, the screen sits on top of the main board, or on top of the frame, and the main board sits on top of the frame, but the screen cable runs behind the frame. So to get this off the front of the frame, I gotta unhook this cable, and this appears to be tacked down with adhesive right here. And I believe this is gonna have adhesive behind this piece of flex here too, the square part. This little screwdriver, I normally wouldn't prefer to use a metal tool for this. There we go. Yeah, that's it. All right, this is probably kind of a lot of isopropanol, but This is the smallest. Ooh, yeah, that went in there. It looked like it wicked under pretty good. This is the smallest syringe I've got handy. So does that help lift that? I think so. Yep, right out. There it is. In my experience, the way to work all of these little flat flex connectors is go real easy. Don't get in a hurry, you know. Okay, so I think the next one I want to look at is this here. And that might be hard to get under the edge of. Let me see if I've got a little shiv here. I don't want to cut it, but I need to be able to lift the edge, probably. So let's see if a little isopropanol will help us get some purchase on that. And just putting it around the edges and hoping it'll wick underneath, you know, and soften that adhesive. Now let's see if we can get under the edge there. Yep. Okay, I did get under, but it's still tight. Now this part I'm not trying to save, so, you know, if the worst should happen and I wreck it, we'll chalk it up to learning, but I think it's good practice to try and do it right, especially, you know, if it's a part you don't need and it all goes horribly wrong, you're not out nothing. So it's a good time to practice. Oh no, there we go. Boy, if that's not interesting, this isn't part of the PCB. I think this is a foil that's been stuck down and comes up here, and then there's this adhesive tape. Maybe we'd better lift that before we try and pull the... Boy, that's not coming easy, is it? See if we can do better from this side. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we're up under that pretty good. I'm going to try with the tweezers now to go the rest of the way. Oh yeah, yep, see there's that foil. So I think that's like a shielding or grounding type situation there. There we go. It's coming away. Oh, what was that? I'm gonna have to do a little research before those go back in, aren't I? All right, yeah, there's a little adhesive at the top edge still holding on, so let's loosen that up. Prefer not to just tear it when I can, because this way it'll go back together better. And less chance of pulling something loose I don't want loose. The less we have to push and pull, right? There we go. All right, and now the click wheel. Get it in a better shape for taking off of here. Now this, I'm guessing, is a really big area of adhesive under here, and I don't care to use a sharp tool if I can help it, because I don't want to scrape the solder mask on this PCB. There we go. Got up under the edge there. If solvents don't work, sometimes heat can help with these adhesives. But I like to use a solvent if I can. It's easier to work with and less chance of causing trouble for the kind of stuff I've worked on in the past. Although there's probably cases where you're way better off to use heat. Yeah, there's a lot of stick-em under here. They really didn't want this going anywhere. Hopefully, there we go. And then out she comes. There's adhesive on the new part, so I want to take that remains there off. I think I got what's coming, but let's grab the new clicky wheel. And it's got this release film or whatever you call it on here. There it is. Am I getting just the release, not the stick-em? Good. Oh yeah. So there's these, really don't need that anymore. I'm gonna pull a stunt here, a trick. I'm gonna put alcohol right on this to begin with. And hopefully it doesn't wreck it. But my thought is that'll give it some slip while we put it on here so it doesn't bind up on us. Yeah, like that, see? And then I'll bring that clip down. And as that dries, it should stick right where we left it. Wound back the tape and I did figure out these guys go on here kind of like this, but I think they got to go on after this is back in the frame. And I'm kind of curious what their function is. I'm wondering if it prevents coil whine or if it's just to help orient this, or anyway, kind of interesting. But we'll make sure they get back where they came from. So now we're gonna bring this guy around. I don't want to kink it too hard, but I know it's gotta come around. There we go. There, see those locating pins go in there? And then that should lay down nice. It does. Get the stick-em going again. Okay, I have a nice, strong, double-sided adhesive here. Unfortunately, we're going a little off script, and this will probably change the performance of this connection, because this is likely a different thickness, probably thicker than the original adhesive. And if this is, as I suspect, like a capacitive connection, that'll reduce the capacitance of it. So would have been better if we could use the original adhesive, or if I had a good idea like what the thickness of it was. And I swear I can see just the smallest bow there. So maybe I may end up regretting putting that in. Maybe I should have just sandwiched it there and hoped for the best, or tacked it with some super glue or something, huh? Okay, well, I won't make you suffer through it, but I'm actually going to back up and take that adhesive out of there. So now let's get this guy back where it goes. Oh no, he stuck himself to himself. There we go. Now we're talking. Give that a little pressure to activate it. All right, so I think how these went is, oh yeah. Are they the same or different? They're different. This one I think goes on this side. There it is. Yeah, I don't know. If you know, or if you can speculate what the function of these might be, let me know down in the comments. I'd be curious. Oh, this is a little fiddly, isn't it? There we go. Oh, yeah. So satisfying. We'll use a blunt non-conductive tool, a thumbnail.